Hey, how's it going? Today I want to talk about content moderation and what that is. Content moderation is the process of monitoring and managing user-generated content on the website, social media platform, and other online, most of the time online communications to ensure it complies with established guidelines, policies, and legal regulations. Worth noting that established guidelines, policies, and legal regulations are constantly changing. So whatever might be acceptable right now, a group of people, one person, two people, might decide that something what's okay right now might not be okay tomorrow. And by doing that, perhaps whoever is moderating that platform or online website or platform or social media, whatever they would be defined according to legal regulations, might be monitored differently. So whoever is making that decisions, if anything, and who's electing those people to make those decisions and for our own safety, how much of those platforms should be regulated and monitored, and what is defined as a free speech, I guess. It's what I was mentioning, and what moderation is. It is an essential part of maintaining a safe and respectful online environment. Content moderation can encompass a wide range of activities. Let's take a look at some of those activities and the process itself. User-generated content review. This involves reviewing text, images, videos, and other content. So text, images, and videos. Most of the time, that should cover everything or combination of two. And other content submitted by users to ensure it adheres to community standards. Common issues include hate speech, harassment, explicit or violent content, and spam. Filtering and blocking. Automated systems or pre-defined filters can be used to detect and block content that violates guidelines. This can help reduce the workload of human moderators. Depending if you were to build anything, perhaps there's a big part of that, how you're looking to maintain perhaps the standards within that for a particular organization or particular products, services that you would be able to offer there, how you will maintain that standard. Some of those standards up there can vary, right? User reporting, allowing users to report inappropriate content helps identify problematic material quickly. So there's user reporting. If anything, myself, I'm focusing on perhaps chat or communications software. It's just my personal takeaways, but perhaps for other people, they might be interested in different things. Legal compliance, ensuring that the platform adheres to relevant laws and regulations such as copyright, child protection, and hate speech. And perhaps some of the systems out there that you might be interested in taking on before problems would begin. But again, how can you address those? Contextual understanding. Moderators must consider the context in which content is posted. Something that might be acceptable in one context could be inappropriate in another. Again, so perhaps understanding where the person was coming from and starting conversation. It's another way to look at different issues. Scalability. If anything, so once building products or services, once you have a business minimum viable product, so MVP, once you got it working, models working, kinda, then you would like to scale your model, right? So let's take a look at scalability. As user-generated content grows, content moderation must be scalable to handle increased volume of data effectively. So how you're gonna be looking at scale that model as well, how you're gonna be looking to moderate that process. Would you perhaps yourself be interested in different software solutions, not necessarily hiring people to do that, perhaps hiring people to oversee that, but not necessarily do that, right? Image and video recognition. Moderation tools may use image and video recognition technology to identify and block explicit and harmful visual content. Machine learning and AI. Some platforms employ machine learning, algorithms, and artificial intelligence to automate content moderation to a certain extent. So there are different systems, right? So how much of that platform information has been posted on that platform would you like to be overseen by different software solutions out there? There are options out there depending on how you like to run your business, right? So again, perhaps up to you. So the different organizations do have that. I don't know how much of that are trade secrets and how many organizations are openly discussing that. Community guidelines. Clearly defining rules and guidelines help users understand what is expected of them and what kind of content is not allowed. If anything, on a smaller scale, so perhaps running a group, so whatever group you might be up there looking to start a community, right? And once you start that community, and that community can discuss, perhaps if it's something that you're interested in, how to grow berries, right? So if you are interested in growing berries, right? So there might be a large 10,000 group of people who are discussing best way of doing it, right? So while discussing it, you don't want to perhaps people to hating each other, right? Perhaps the only thing was you like to monitor that community and make sure that everyone sharing their thoughts and ideas on the particular subjects, and you you are dead. I don't know. I don't know. It's just well, most of the people perhaps it's very common sense approach. Most of the people understand that, but perhaps when you looking to scale from 10,000 to perhaps 1 million, you might find interesting things out there. So I guess that's the scaling right there. User bans and warnings, perhaps systems. So perhaps where to begin and how there's different stages of what would be acceptable, especially some of the platforms out there, of a warning system, or perhaps that will lead into the ban of the platform, perhaps for different periods or indefinitely, or whatever case might be. Content moderation may also involve using warning for users to who violate the guidelines and uh, is a severe case is banning them from the platform is something that you're looking to monitor and police the system that you have. For people out there who are interested in learning more, I have published this book, and within this book I'm sharing a lot of information with people who are interested in learning more about livestock enterprise and where to begin. Within this book, I'm sharing all information that I believe is very important to have when moving or progressing from zero to first 10,000 euros, pounds, dollars, how to achieve this first milestone. In this book, I'm sharing a lot of examples which I personally believe are very important for people out there to learn perhaps not necessarily from your own mistakes, but progress from examples from people who have done it. By doing that, you can potentially save a lot of money by doing it. If anything, there's a lot of value in this book to save money by looking at the best practices out there. You can find it in the description below, as well as Top Retailers has this book. Content moderation is crucial for maintaining positive user experience, protecting users from harmful or offensive content, and ensuring that online communities remain respectful and safe spaces. If anything, recently I have read some articles about angry men on the internet. Some people, the way how they communicating or expressing themselves, they can be seen as angry men, right? That's the reason while discussing their own issues, right? So, if anything, perhaps putting everything in one box not necessarily. We need to understand the context and where the man was coming from. Then discussing what's the best shovel to dig the hole or something like that. And he's very angry for some reason. If anything, myself included, right? So if so, I have seen a person who have built an interesting model, like a mini car, and from there he progressed into bigger projects and building projects, and he really understands engineering, mechanics, perhaps electricity as well. I haven't seen him working with electricity, but perhaps it is something that he understands, right? So I have reached out to him. I told him that he should focus, other areas that he should focus on would be intellectual property, and perhaps looking at the different ways how he can protect his work, and perhaps from there, once he build the model, perhaps he would be able to sell it to other businesses. The way how he responded to my comments, he responded that he was very angry, but like, he is angry, so, perhaps I'm angry if I'm working with the metal all day, if anything, right? So that's the way how people communicate to other people. But if I were to come in and start policing those people, I don't know. That's my own perspective on this kind of subjects, right? If anything. However, it can be challenging and resource intensive task, as it often requires a combination of automated systems and human moderators to effectively police online content. So, if any takeaways, that perhaps within my own examples. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.